This is Bible Basics, Part 3. I'm your instructor, Chelsea. Today we're covering the poetry books, which consist of the book of Job, the book of Psalms, the book of Proverbs, the book of Ecclesiastes, and the book of Songs of Solomon, or Songs of Songs. Before we delve in, let's do a quick review. In this course, we've covered that the Bible consists of 66 total books. The Bible is divided into two major sections. We have the Old Testament and we have the New Testament. In each, the Old and the New Testament, the Bible is divided into subsections. In the Old Testament, we have a total of 39 books, divided into the first section, the book of Moses, the second section, the historical books, then we have the poetic books, then we have the major prophets, then we have the minor prophets. In the New Testament, we have a total of 27 books, divided in subsections starting with the Gospels. Then we have the historical book, the book of Acts. Then we have Paul's letters. Then we have the general letters, and the New Testament concludes with the book of prophecy, which is the book of Revelation. In our last two sessions, we've covered the books of Moses, and we've also covered the historical books. The books of Moses, you remember them. These are the first 5 books of the Bible. Jewish and Christian history tell us that these are the books that God gave Moses, consisting of the laws and some other things. So these books, you know what they are. Sing them with me. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Great job. In our second part, we spoke about the historical books where we told the story. So we have the books of Moses, and when Moses's reign ended, Joshua took over. Moses used to judge Israel, so Joshua took over in that role. So for the historical books, Joshua is the first book. Then we have Joshua judges Ruth. And I hope Joshua judges Ruth here rightly, because she was indeed a faithful woman. So we have Joshua judges Ruth. Then after that, we need a new prophet to emerge. So we have Samuel. So we have 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel. Samuel was a prophet who anointed 2 kings. So after the book of Samuel, we have 1 Kings, and then we have 2 Kings. Kings like to read through Chronicles. Kings like to know the historical accounts. So right after the book of Kings, we have 1 Chronicles and we have 2 Chronicles. That's a lot of history, but we're not done. We have 3 more, but we want to take it easy as we ease out of the historical books. So we also have Ezra, then we have Nehemiah, which we know it does not start with an E, but it has that E. And finally, we have Esther. Today, we're going to be covering the poetic books. We're going to tag on to Esther. Most of us in modern times think of the book of Esther as being something that contains romance. We really don't know if the romance was in fact a thing between Queen Esther, Hadassah, and King Xerxes. We just assume, a lot of us who are romantics, that something romantic went on there. But we truthfully don't know. But for the purposes of this course, we're going to say their coming together was romantic. I would definitely say, if a king says to me, "What is it you want, my darling? Just tell me. Up to half my kingdom, I will give it to you." That's pretty romantic to me personally. So we're going to go in that vein. The book of Esther was romantic. There was some romantics there, or at least some type of romantic connotation. So in that same thought process, that's how we're going to transition from the romance in the book of Esther now into the poetry books. I mean, what is more romantic than poetry? I love all types of poetry. So for these poetic books that we're discussing today, once again, we have the book of Job, we have the book of Psalms, we have the book of Proverbs, the book of Ecclesiastes, and we have Songs of Solomon, or Songs of Songs. You may be saying to yourself, well, I can see how the book of Proverbs is romantic and definitely the book of Songs of Solomon, but how in the world is Job romantic? Well, Job fits into the book of poetry because it really is considered to be Hebrew poetry and the way that it's written, the language that it's written in, the way the words are put together. When we're talking about poetry, something that's very common in all types and styles of poetry is that there's a lot of vivid imagery. There's also a lot of parallelisms. You'll find that in the book of Job, especially when that questioning is going on between he and God and even him and his friends. There's a lot of vivid imagery there and definitely some parallelisms. You can find the poetry in the book of Psalms, those love letters that King David pens to the Lord, very poetic. You can find the same thing in the book of Proverbs, very, very poetic. A lot of symbolisms there, a lot of vivid imagery. Same thing for Ecclesiastes, even though it's a little cynical at times. And definitely, as I said, for the Songs of Solomon or Songs of Song. So that keeps you in your little romantic vibe there so you can remember these books in order. Most of us know the order for some of them. We know that it's Psalms and Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. So you've got a good general idea there. Now let's put everything together back from the beginning. So we have the books of Moses. Sing it with me. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. The reign of Moses is now over. Joshua's getting ready to take over. Let's tell the story. We have Joshua, Judges, Ruth. Now a new prophet emerges. 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel. Prophet Samuel anoints 2 kings. So we have 1 Kings and 2 Kings. Kings like to go through Chronicles. So we have 2 Chronicles, 1 Chronicles and 2 Chronicles. Now we need something easy to complete the history. We have Ezra, we have Nehemiah, and we have Esther to complete the 3 easy E's in the historical accounts. Esther is Hadassah. King Xerxes is romantic. We're going to build on that romance, and now we're coming into the poetry books, starting with the book of Job. Yes, you've got it. You're doing great. Now we have Psalms. Then we have Proverbs. Now we have Ecclesiastes. And we started with a song, singing those 5 books of Moses. So today we're going to end with a song. The book of Songs of Solomon, or Songs of Songs. You're doing such an amazing job. You should be really proud of yourself. So keep reviewing this, write these out, say them out, use the process. Start with singing Moses, then telling the historical account, then get romantic and go into the poetry. And I will meet you back here next time as we pick up for the next session. Bye for now.